have the good and bad sides to them. You know, on the one hand, they brought up all this emotional stuff for Chris and brought it to the forefront a little bit more. And on the other, it's so much quieter. I can actually sleep. So I know Chris misses his friends, but me and his dad aren't missing the taking up half the street with cars or, the other stuff. Yelling, the screaming, the, you know, yeah. Towards the end, they actually started to supervise the kid, though. Like, I guess he ran off enough times and they had to go looking for him. Because he didn't ask. He just went over to a friend's house. They showed up here quite a few times looking for him until we were like, look, we'll always ask. We'll always ask. So, like, if you don't know where he is, that just shortens, like, where to look. There were a couple times he was like, is he still here? And I'm like, we sent him back home. Or he went back home and didn't come back. But that one was valid because sometimes they would go back and forth. But yeah, no. Wouldn't keep him that late. You gotta go home and eat dinner with your family. It's good to eat dinner here, but it's very clear that they actually preferred whenever, he would go home for dinner. So we were good with that. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. That's... I got nothing done yesterday because there was some kid emotions. And I spent most of the day distracting him from them. He likes Zelda, so I've seen more Zelda in a day yesterday than anyone probably ever should in a single day. Ow! Like he decided to go asshole on me. So I decided that he needed to be soaked. To be fair, Lucky probably thought that he was just playing. It's... My ex-husband used to teach him this stupid fighty game, and he just tried to do that to me. He was taught that this was a bad idea to the kids in the first place, so he's never tried it with any kids or anything, but I have papery skin, and now this is what my hand looks like. He has been soaked because I have never entertained the idea that this is okay. I'm still mad at you. He's seeing if it's okay to come back over here now. Yeah. We've never done the fighty, where the back legs are going and all that. To be fair, though, he didn't do the back legs on me. He just did the front. Yeah. Like, there's stuff that didn't need a Band-Aid. Like the red mark right there, or... You can't see it, because I'm so damn pale. But there's, like... flap of skin right here from claws tearing it up. And it's not like that's what he was trying to do. Like, he ran off. He realized his mistake as soon as he did it. But I still had to spray him, otherwise, he might forget. And I sprayed him. I sprayed him hard. I'm still mad at you. the harder I crack down on this, the less it'll happen in the future. But I will never understand people that are like, oh, I need to. They're like, yeah, I kicked the cat. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can injure them very seriously. Spray them. This is like, find a way that doesn't hurt them to express that you're still mad at them. Or that this is really bad. Yeah. You don't kick a cat. That's horrible. Like, you could cause internal damage, break their ribs, any number of things. And, I can't even. Gene, last night, I was like, here's soup, and he's like, no! We've had soup for 3 days this week! 3 days! We're only 3 days into the week! And I'm like, okay, finish that and I'll give you a cheeseburger. And then I had to, like, correct myself. I am so used to this that I said this to him. He's like, I love your soup, honey, but this isn't a very filling soup. And he's right, it's not. It's not. It's not a very hearty soup. That's why it's soup and not a stew. It's hearty for a soup. I'll say it that way. But it's not for a stew, and his metabolism makes it kind of hard for that to stick with him. So I made him a couple cheeseburgers. And tonight, and you know, he kind of like said yesterday, so I was like, well, that's the last of this soup. So, we won't have soup tomorrow. And he was like, you will find soup. You will go into that freezer and you will find soup. And then we will end up having soup. So today I was like, I don't really feel like cooking. Looked into the freezer and I was like, I could just take down a thing of soup. And then I was remembering that. No, I can't do that to him. I could do stew, and I'm like, nah, too close to soup. So, you know, I settled for chicken bake instead. Took some chicken, you know, some garlic, some butter, some veggies. Put it in a big baking dish and baked it. I baked the chicken first, of course, before the veggies. I added them. And yeah, he was just like, no! So, yeah, I could almost hear him, like, saying that in my head all over again, just remembering it. So I was like, nah, I'll give him a night without soup this week. To be clear, I am trying to, like, clear out the freezer right now of some of the stuff that's in there that needs to be cycled out. So most of the stuff frozen in there is soup, because normally stuff like spaghetti sauce and other stuff that I make gets eaten really fast whenever it's been frozen, so it doesn't actually last long. And he's just like, no! And I'm like, well, I'll make you a cheeseburger. Normally, I don't serve soups by themselves anyway, just because of the metabolism these two have. So, yeah, he had a couple of cheeseburgers with his big bowl of soup. And Chris had the biggest bowl of all. Yeah. It's pretty much the easiest way for me to slip veggies in to Gene's diet. You would think that it would be Chris, but nah, Chris loves his veggies. He'll eat it. He'll just sit there and eat it. Nom, nom, nom. Gene, on the other hand, to be fair, it also gives him gas. Really stinky gas. You can smell whenever this man has had veggies. So, to be fair, he may or may not have a valid reason to not want as many veggies in his diet, but he still needs some, because, you know, for the same reason I need some, despite the fact that my body does not process them the way that it's supposed to, necessarily, so yeah. I still need veggies, so you'll still need veggies. So, it's not wise for me to have a bunch of veggies, especially leafy greens, uncooked. So most of my stuff is cooked, or I use like stuff like a vinaigrette. Usually I also have to like combine that with drinking a little bit of soda to help my stomach break it down. It is not just an absorption problem. It is I will puke this up days later because my stomach cannot reconcile it problem. Cannot break it down. It cannot break down what gets to my stomach. For whatever reason, it just doesn't happen. So, with a little bit of help that happens, my body still like absorbs some of the nutrients from it. It's just my stomach doesn't really break it down. So, yeah. Once it gets past my stomach, if it can get broken down enough to get past my stomach, I'm okay. I have, like, weirdness whenever stuff comes out, but I'm okay. It doesn't hurt. It's not tearing me up inside. And I'm getting the nutrients that I need from it. At least partially. Enough that I'm not, like, deficient in that stuff. So, vitamin D, yes, I ran deficient on that, apparently. But not this, so it's good. It works. It keeps me in a good place with those vitamins and minerals that you need to get through there. So I use this to slip my better half some veggies. Because I want him to live long. I want him to see Chris graduate from high school, and I want him to see grandbabies one day, you know? I want him to live to see this. Unfortunately, Gina's 20 years older than me. So he needs to be healthy to do that.